Welcome back to the Kanaka Bar Entrepreneurship Program. As you'll recall, in the first session we covered principles of entrepreneurship and self-evaluation metrics. In the second session we covered opportunity recognition and business plan drafting. And in the third session we covered choosing a legal structure for your business, registration requirements, and business license and permits. If you haven't already had a chance to do so, please go back and review these sessions now. The objective of this fourth session is to provide entrepreneurs with some practical tips to assist them in developing and operating their business. In this session, we will cover employment matters, including best practices for the recruitment and management of employees, options for financing your business, as well as various strategies for marketing your products and services. Employment matters. Although some entrepreneurs prefer to run their business completely on their own, you may find that getting a little extra help can help keep you and your business on track. Employees are often attracted to working with small business owners as it provides them an opportunity to work closely with owners and management, make decisions that have a tangible impact and help shape the business, as well as providing positive contributions directly to the community in which they live. Nevertheless, it's important for small businesses to be proactive in their recruitment to get noticed. Remember, you'll be competing against other businesses for top talent. The larger presence you have, the more likely it will be for you and your business to get noticed by potential employees. Consider placing job advertisements on local community boards and with recruitment offices and specialists. Also, don't forget the power of the internet. Turning to recruitment websites and social media can help you powerfully attract the right candidate. Last but not least, don't forget to let your personal network of contacts know that you're hiring. Many positions are filled simply by word of mouth. You may be surprised to find out how many qualified candidates you already know. Once you've decided how you're going to get in touch with your potential employees, you'll then need to decide what you want to say. Creating the right type of job posting is critical to attracting the ideal employee for your business. First, you'll want to describe in detail your business, the position you are hiring for, including expected job duties, and what potential employees can expect to receive from you. Next, you'll want to indicate what skills, education, and experience your ideal candidate would possess. These attributes should be directly related to the position you are seeking to fulfill. Also, don't forget to include information on how and when to apply. You may have the best job posting in the world, but if potential employees don't know how to get in touch with you, it'll all be a waste. Finally, remember when drafting a job posting to avoid using discriminatory language. It is a violation of human rights legislation to use terms in a job posting that express a limitation, specification, or preference as to a protected characteristic such as race, gender, and sexual orientation. Once you've received applications from qualified candidates, it's time to begin conducting interviews. Let's go over a few interviewing tips to help you get started. First, in order to assess each candidate on an objective basis, it's important to put together a list of required attributes for the role. For example, do you need someone who is a self-starter or someone who is by the book? Someone who can create processes or someone who brings the big picture ideas? Getting clear on the type of employee you and your business needs will help you prepare relevant questions. In terms of what kinds of questions to ask for real solutions relevant to your business. Avoid questions like, "What are your weaknesses?" and aim instead for questions that require the candidate to explain a problem that you or your team struggles with. Next, reduce stress for candidates. Reducing stress for candidates may not be the traditional approach, but most of us have experienced that anxiety before walking into an interview. And as we know, people who are stressed do not perform as well. By making a candidate comfortable, for example, by sharing the topics you'd like to discuss, or simply meeting at a time that's convenient to the candidate, you're likely to have a more productive and professional conversation. Finally, interviews are also a time for you to show off your business and speak to the many benefits employees can expect to receive from working with you. Overall, thoroughly preparing to interview your candidates not only helps you to create an objective and streamlined process to evaluate, but will also demonstrate that you mean business and ultimately help entice your chosen candidate to accept a job offer. Employment contracts. Once you've found the perfect candidate, it's time to enter into a written employment contract. Although it's not required by law, employment contracts are highly recommended in order to clarify conditions of employment. At a minimum, all employment contracts should contain the term of the employment, the start date, the length and conditions of a probationary period, the job title and duties, the salary and benefits, as well as a detailed termination clause. You'll also want to make sure that your employment contract meets the minimum requirement under the applicable employment standards legislation, such as the BC Employment Standards Act and Canada Labour Code. These pieces of legislation have strict requirements including hiring, wage payments, payroll and record keeping, hours of work and overtime, statutory holidays and vacation, leaves such as sick leave, and termination. Drafting employment contracts can be complicated, and if not done correctly, they may be found to be unenforceable. We highly recommend that you consult a legal advisor prior to entering into an employment relationship with any potential employee. Finally, once you've hired an employee, it's important to put in place performance management practices to ensure you and your employee get the most out of the relationship. Performance management best practices include modeling the performance, attitude, and behaviors you want from your employees. Leading by example is one of the best ways to set the tone of your business. Providing clear direction, including orientation and training. Be sure to outline for your employees what tasks your employee is required to complete and how to complete them. Setting and communicating expectations. This can be done through business policies or other written communications to ensure consistency. Periodically evaluating your employees' performance and providing constructive feedback. To effectively evaluate employees, it's important to keep detailed records of their accomplishments and areas of improvement. Finally, sometimes it's necessary to either discipline or dismiss certain employees. When disciplining or dismissing employees, be sure to consult your legal advisor as appropriate. Now that you have the basics of hiring and managing employees, let's take a look at a few options for financing your business. Some of the ways to finance your business include personal investment. Many entrepreneurs invest their personal savings into their business, allowing them to reap most of the profits and keep full control of their operations. Personal investments shows other investors that you are fully committed and believe in your business. When determining how much to invest in your business, keep in mind your personal costs such as family obligations, rent, and food. Love money. Many entrepreneurs receive either loans or investments from close family or friends. Be careful to establish clear boundaries, timelines, interest rates, or ownership stakes when accepting money from family or friends. Grants and government funds. There are a number of government grants and funds available to small business owners. Some are specific to indigenous business owners, while others are more general. Refer to your handout for links to some grants you may qualify for. Angel investors or venture capitalists. These are generally wealthy individuals or organizations who want to invest in your business. These investors generally offer funds in exchange for taking an ownership stake in your business and sharing in the profit. Financial institutions. Lastly, financial institutions may provide loans to your business. Make sure to shop around to different financial institutions for the best deal. Financial institutions often provide all-in-one comprehensive business packages of loans, business accounts, company credit cards, and checks for one flat rate monthly fee. A coherent business plan, as discussed in Session 2, assists banks and investors in determining how much to invest in your business. The financing sources addressed in the previous slide can be divided into either debt or equity. Most companies use a combination of debt and equity when sourcing funds for their business. Debt financing involves the borrowing of money and the promise you will pay it back with interest. The most common example of debt financing is a loan. Debt financing allows entrepreneurs to raise capital for their business without giving up any control or ownership of the company. Additionally, debt financing allows business owners to assess future expenses more accurately, as loan payments are a fixed cost. Please note, however, that should you fail to make your loan payments, your business may fall into default and have its assets or other property subject to seizure. In equity financing, a business receives capital for an ownership share in the business. The principal advantage of equity financing is that an entrepreneur is not required to pay back the money received. The downside, however, is that the business owner is giving up some ownership and control of the company. Also note that the legal structure of your business, as discussed in Section 3, will determine whether or not you may issue equity in your business. When choosing whether debt or equity financing is right for your business, be sure to consult your business and tax advisors. Once you're ready to begin selling your product or service, it's time to make consumers aware of what you're selling. There are various different marketing strategies businesses and entrepreneurs use to effectively market their products or services. Consider traditional marketing, such as business cards, billboards, print, and radio ads. Online marketing, using platforms such as Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook. And finally, word-of-mouth marketing. Have a few friends, family members, or employees spread the word about your new business in the community. Don't limit yourself to only advertising in a certain channel. Branching out will allow your business to reach more consumers. Don't know where to start? The following are some helpful online resources to help you build your marketing and brand strategy. Canva. Create your logo and marketing with their online templates and icons. Squarespace. Build your own website using online tutorials through their platform. Hootsuite. Manage all your social platforms in one place using this handy application. MailChimp. Create e-newsletters and email campaigns and design your look with the help of their useful templates. Finally, Bitly. This tool helps you keep track of how many click-throughs you're getting on any of your online links. Please refer to your handout for access to these resources and other useful links. Let's conclude today's session with a few final marketing tips. First of all, when choosing which social media platforms to market on, choose only a select few. From LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, it'd be impossible to market on all of them. They all work differently and serve a different purpose, which is why it's important to identify your target market. As discussed in session 2, you'll want to figure out which group of consumers are most likely to purchase your products and tailor your marketing strategies to this group. It's also helpful to develop a value proposition statement which clearly sets out why a consumer should choose your product or service. Finally, define your idea of success. Success is different for every business and for every person. Whatever your idea of success may be, define it and include what your business stands for. Write it down or send it to the entire team. It's important that all your employees know your definition of success and the reason your business exists. Thank you for joining us for this last session of the Kanaka Bar Entrepreneurship Program. Please don't forget to refer to your handout for a brief recap of this session, along with links to some helpful resources. As always, please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions or concerns you may have. Thanks again for joining us for the Kanaka Bar Entrepreneurship Program.